All right, the next question comes from Michael Rigsby Jr., who is Mr. 1989. He says, why are fans blinded by irrelevant playoff appearances? As a Clippers fan, I'm not looking forward to getting swept by the Golden State Warriors in the first round and losing our lottery pick. We are the definition of NBA purgatory the past few seasons. Honestly, my answer to that, Mike, is that there's a lot of dumb fans.
Oh, man.
I'm just being honest with you. There's a lot of fans that are so caught up in their now emotions that they don't see the big picture of things, right? So they're programmed to root for their team when their team's on the television. Their Bulls are playing, we gotta win. Not recognizing that if you win today, you lose tomorrow and you lose for the rest of the year or the rest of the next 3 to 4 years. So the dynamic of, you know what? Here's the thing. When wins start counting towards draft points and start leading to having a higher draft, a higher spot in the draft, that's when I'll root for my team no matter what. When wins equate to something that helps your team in the future, moving forward.
This is why I disagree with you vehemently.
No, my God. How are you going to how in the world are you going to disagree with that, knowing the way the NBA is set up?
The number one criticism for the Denver Nuggets and why people don't think they'll go far is because they have no playoff experience.
Oh, but, okay. This is different, but I'll explain there's a little bit in the middle of it. There's some gray area there. I'll explain that after you finish.
Okay. So when you talk about making the playoffs, it depends on what direction your team is going.
Exactly.
I think a team with young players that will benefit even from a first round exit, right. I would prefer them to have that first round exit before we're expected to make the finals,
right?
Rather than having to being like Philly and having a loss against a team that you probably shouldn't have simply because inexperience is going to cost you.
Yes. No, I see. Here's the difference.
Hold on, let me finish. In the case with the Clippers, not only do they have a bunch of players just now coming into their own, and they're not. It's not like if they didn't make the playoffs, they'd get the number. They don't really have a chance to get Zion Williamson, right? So, or Ja Morant, who they
RJ Barrett,
right? Or Rui. So, their lottery pick is not capital letters lottery pick; it's lowercase letters lottery. And the thing is, they're planning to sign big free agents. So, in a certain sense, the most valuable thing for them is playoff experience and having the players that they will retain be as good as they can possibly be when they get their free agents. Remember, Jerry West is back there. Never underestimate Jerry West. If he think, and also the owner, when you look at that owner talking about, no, man, we want to win. We want to win every game. That's also about building a culture. Tank culture is fine when you're terrible. Which as Bulls and Knicks fans, Knicks fans, we can tell y'all all about.
Hey, slap your kids. Leave mine alone.
But the Clippers are a team with a great coach. Right now, great ownership, great general management, decent talent, young and veteran, and cap space. They want to get into the playoffs and see what they got, give these guys some experience so that when they add more top-tier talent, they're adding in better surrounding pieces.
Well, okay, so here's my thing. Obviously, I agree with that to a degree, right? Like,
you can say, Books, you're right. That's shorter.
No, that's actually not it at all. So. What it is the question I was answering, and I don't know that I necessarily agree with your assessment of where the Clippers are, because I know that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a nice looking young player.
Yeah.
But I don't know that the Clippers have their guy on the team as of yet, right? So if you don't already have your guy on the team, I don't know that Gilgeous-Alexander going to the playoffs and getting swept by the Golden State Warriors is going to do anything for his development.
100%, dude.
I don't know that that's going to do anything.
A young point guard playing in those circumstances, the next time he makes the playoffs, he's not going to have those same level of jitters, man. It's super important.
I don't know that that's more valuable than what I might get. We've all seen what 1 or 2 slots in the draft can mean. 1 or 2 slots in the draft can mean you get Kirk Heinrich or you get Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, but that's not where they're picking.
No. It is where they're picking, honestly, because if they make the playoffs, then they can't be picking any higher than 17. If they miss the playoffs, they could go somewhere between 14 and 16.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like Jerry West is fine with that. No, it's Jerry West. Jerry West is fine with that.
I don't. It doesn't matter if it's Billy West. It's 2 to 3 slots, and if the guy is gone, he's gone.
No, I think it's more valuable for the Clippers to get experience with those guys, especially Shai. The thing about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander that's so wonderful about him is he plays with a maturity and intelligence. So he's going to actually learn from that playoff experience in a major way. And if they get marquee free agents, they're definitely going to make the playoffs next year. And if they have a point guard who is more veteran because he's seen the playoffs already, that's a huge plus for them.
Yeah, I'm not saying that
a rookie who is almost definitely not going to help them. And if he is, it's because Jerry West is a genius, not because they were relying on the 14th through 17th pick to be something that he's not, especially when the draft is not considered to be particularly deep this year.
Yeah, I'm not saying that there's nothing for Alexander to take away from going and playing 4 games and getting sent home. I'm not saying that there's nothing he can gain from that. But if I'm weighing what's more important, a draft spot or going to get swept, and I only got one guy on my team who I really think is going to be a part of my core, one guy, no.
See, and this is why I disagree. Because a draft spot, you need really, really, really high draft picks when either A, there's a lot of talent at the top of the draft, or B, you're not very good at drafting. When you're really good at drafting, like Jerry West is probably the greatest talent evaluator in the history of basketball. When you have that, you're like, I can find talent later in the draft. I'm fine. Like when what's his name at the Spurs? The GM.
Buford. No, he's with the Thunder now. Oh my God, his name is
same thing.
Around. Right.
And even what's the name at the Thunder? Like when you have
Buford.
When you have talent like that in terms of talent evaluation, you forming a winning culture, getting into the playoffs, you're confident that you're going to pick well late, especially when it's not like 100% guaranteed with this way or that way. Guys go a little earlier, guys go a little later. You know what is guaranteed? Playoff experience. That's guaranteed. And you need to get it as much as you can get it when you're on the way up. And the Clippers are definitely 100% on the way up. Everything about that organization is pointing forward. And if they were, one of the best teams in the league in a year, 2 years, nobody would be surprised because of how many great decisions they've made and how much great coaching they have right now. In the way everybody's playing together in that organization. You don't disrupt playing together and start losing on purpose when you have a winning culture.
No, I don't think the question was about trying whether or not the Clippers should be losing on purpose. He said that why are fans blinded by irrelevant.
But did he reference the Clippers?
No, he said the Clippers, but he's not implying.
Well,
and
I'm being specific.
No, you're actually not, because you're not specifically referring to the question that was asked. The question
he said like my Clippers.
No, he said, why are fans blinded by irrelevant playoff appearances? We're not suggesting that the Clippers should lose on purpose. He's asking, why are fans getting enamored with an irrelevant playoff experience?
But I don't
you're
think
saying it's not irrelevant.
It's not irrelevant.
Right. Okay. So I didn't say that they should lose on purpose. I'm saying that it's that I wouldn't do that. But what I'm saying is them going to the playoffs this year, I do believe. While I won't say it's irrelevant, if I had to pick between them going to the playoffs and getting swept in 4 games and getting the number 14 pick rather than the 17 pick, I'd take the 14 pick.
Yeah, well, that's why you you know,
Yeah.
gotcha.
I'm just as
You know
involved in
what?
team building as you. Is that what?
You already done cried in the chat about me talking about your Bulls. So I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it where it is. And you been beat up enough. You got to watch that team every day.
Yeah. See, Mr. 1989 said, "Thank you, Brian," because he can't yell it out, so we can refocus on the question that was asked. Because I don't know, sometimes Book start running down the street, and we got to try to get him back because he go down the
street. Mister, listen, if you're a Clippers fan, be very happy with everything that's happening with your organization. You got some of the smartest, most talented people behind the desk, and you've got a team with a winning culture that ain't costing you no money right now. Let that team get some experience, add some talent in the offseason. That's the best case. You guys are a best case scenario team.
Yeah. I really do think the Clippers are in a good position, though. I don't think to put it like this, I don't think either thing is the end of the world.
Right. And by the way, if Kevin Durant leaves the Warriors, the West is wide open.
Yeah, I would say so, because the Warriors become very beatable at that point. They're still a really good team.
For sure.
They're not scary like they were before.